configuring their system, or like how many of you are able to like install and set up and able to run the counter app? Like you can just unmute and just tell me. Meanwhile, other team members will join. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. I have completed the installation and setup, and I am able to run the counter app.
Perfect.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I have also completed the installation and I am also able to run the counter app.
Perfect. Okay, so now we have 3 people who are able to successfully run the counter app. Anyone? Is there here anyone is facing challenges in installation or like not able to get through it? So we can discuss right now.
I have installed Visual Studio,
Okay.
but
So,
I'm not pretty much confident whether I have added this Flutter and Dart extension.
okay, so you just downloaded Visual Studio or like you done the setup from the link that I shared yesterday?
No, I have done the setup from the link that you shared yesterday. So
Okay.
I hope that includes.
So can you just verify? Okay. So can you just open your Visual Studio?
Yes, I did it.
Okay. On the Visual Studio on the left hand side, you can see like 4 or 5 icons, like file icons, search icons, some GitHub icons, play.
Source control, run and debug, and extensions.
Yeah. Yeah. So just
Okay.
click on extension.
Right, got it. And then in extension,
Yeah. And how many extension you are able to see over there?
many installed it seems 0, but the remaining popular are there. So I think I need to add this extension.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll
Which
suggest
one?
you, like open the link again, flutter.dev, and go
Hmm.
to that installation part one by one, and don't directly jump to the VS Code.
1 minute. Flutter. Then
Flutter.dev is the website.
yes, I'm already on Flutter.
Okay,
Then
on that you can see getting started.
get started. Fine. Okay. Then install Mac OS.
Yeah, I mean whatever the like system you
Mac.
have at Windows.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's Mac. Mac
just
Pro.
click on Mac.
Yeah.
And now there is the first thing is you need to get the Flutter SDK. So there is Flutter underscore Mac OS
Oh
2.8.21.
yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to
This
go
was
like, these steps.
yeah. This was remaining. I directly went to Visual Studio and did it. Okay, I'll finish up soon. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
even though you download this SDK, you still require Android Studio to download.
Yes,
And why
Studio
it
is
is
already down.
required that I'll explain today.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'll
Okay.
finish up soon. Okay,
Okay.
please
Perfect.
continue with the rest of the participants. Thank you.
Is there anyone who is still facing issues or like who is still not clear?
Sir, I have completed this task, which was recently you told to ma'am. But I did not install Android Studio. What I have to do if
Right now you have Windows system or Mac system?
Windows.
Windows, in that case, you require to download Android Studio. We are not going to use it, but it is required Android Studio to build the app,
Okay,
to
sir.
run and build.
Okay. I will install it.
Okay. So anyone got any question, any doubt, after like completion of first day, how you felt, what are the things that you are expecting on a day one and which is not been conveyed? Like, is there anything like just open up and just tell me? Like don't treat me as the faculty, just treat me as your friend and just tell me whatever the feedback that you want to give, so that now onwards we can cope up with those feedback and we can actually address if is there anything that we need to incorporate. Ghanshyam sir, let me know when we can start the session.
Okay, sir, you can continue because participants will join them.
Just a moment. Now I have successfully completed this Flutter extension. Okay, so just let me know how to run counter app.
See, first thing you have to like install this thing which is called Flutter SDK. You did this.
That yes, Visual Studio is already there.
Perfect. Now just go and check with this command Flutter Doctor. Okay. I will explain everyone that in the session only. But I just came across this tweet yesterday that the only difficult part of getting started with the Flutter is the installing it. And I guess this is
yeah,
right
true.
now everyone facing a big challenge over here. And this is the tweet that I just received like on yesterday at 4:30. And now I can feel that it is true. Okay, so everyone, let me just give you that how exactly the installation will work. First, I'll go with the Windows and we'll go to Mac OS. There are basic requirement here, as we know and as we studied yesterday, that Flutter actually compiles the code natively and build the native APK and IPA file. Now to build this thing, it requires the native building tools. Now to build the Android, all this native building stuff is in the Android Studio. So that's why even though we are not developing using the Android Studio IDE, but to build the APK or to run the program, we need Android Studio. Same goes for the iOS. If you are having a Mac operating system and Apple MacBook or like Apple hardware, you have to install the Xcode. Xcode is an IDE to build the iOS application. And if you have both, then you can run the Flutter app on both the simulator, Android and iOS. So the first thing first, when you want to install or configure Flutter, first go to this link, understand the requirement, whether you have this particular minimum requirement with your hardware or not. If not, then don't try to install it. Okay, it will create unnecessary problems to your hardware, so don't do it, and get a better hardware. The next is get the Flutter SDK. Here the Flutter is an open source SDK. Let me just show you what exactly it is. So if you go to here, we can see we have Flutter SDK over here. And from here, people can download the Flutter SDK. So this is just a pure GitHub repo. And from here, we are actually cloning it. And this is just downloading the stable version of the zip file. So here you can see the command. If you don't want to like download the zip and don't want to do it, if you are more techie, you can go and you can like git clone and it will just simply download the stable branch. Once you download this Flutter SDK, you have to set the path the way we did in the Java, so that whenever I go to my terminal and I will like write this Flutter command, it should be available throughout my terminal. So that's why we need to set our path in our environment variable for the Flutter Once you set the path, you can verify by going into the terminal and just type Flutter. And if it works like this way, that means it is confirmed that your path is set. Once your Flutter SDK is downloaded and the path is set, the next step for the Windows you have to do is Flutter Doctor. Now Flutter itself is so powerful and so smart that it has all the toolings inside. So whenever there is a problem, we go to the doctor. So what we can do is as soon as we install or do the stuff, we can just tell, hey, Flutter Doctor, tell me, do we have any problem or not? So Flutter Doctor will analyze our system and it will say that what are the things that we have, what are things are still needed, and how we can do it. Like here you can see everything here I have installed, like Flutter, Stable Channel 2.8, Android Toolchain. I have Xcode as well. I have Chrome for develop to web. I have Android Studio. I have VS Code, and I have 2 connected devices right now. So if you run this command Flutter Doctor, it will say what are the problems that you have, and it will also suggest. For example, if you don't have Android Toolchain installed, it will tell that what you need to do and how you need to do. So if your app is not running, if you are not aware that what exactly missing, just download this SDK, set a path, and run Flutter Doctor. And the way it will instruct you, you can just start installing this stuff, and then you are done. So this Flutter Doctor is very handy. So it will help you to install everything. Then you required, it will automatically suggest to download the Android Studio itself. So you can go and download the Android Studio from this line, and then it will just set up. Then you need to create your virtual device. I hope everyone know how to create the virtual device. And even though if you don't know, the Flutter SDK itself has its own Android simulator. So you don't need to worry about it. It will just tell you. And this is how you can simply do the setup. We don't right now, this is not our in the scope to enable desktop support and web support. So we are not going through it. So this is how the Windows installation will work. For the Mac OS, similar. Download it, set the path, run Flutter Doctor, and that's it. And it will do the same thing the way it was doing for the like Windows. So this is the simplest way you can go and install the stuff. And still, if you are not able to do anything, feel free to reach out to me. And for now, if the setup is not done, you can simply go to dartpad.dev, click on new pad, OK, and Flutter, and simply create it. So that now we have our online IDEs running over here. So we'll start with this. Is everyone with me till now?
Yes.
Would you just give us
Yes,
2
sir.
minutes?
Sorry? Hello? Someone was saying something, I missed it.
I think it was by mistake, sir.
Just give us 2 minutes by the time we run the counter app. Okay.
Sure.
Just 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Here, anyone have tried Flutter earlier? Like I know one person who mentioned that that sir has already attended my sessions. Like apart from them, is there anyone who have tried Flutter earlier?
Yeah, in earlier stage, I developed one web application by using Flutter.
Okay. Okay, and so what are the stuff that you know about the Flutter? Can you just share with everyone?
Yeah, as you see, I have so much confusion about stateful and stateless widgets.
Okay.
So that it be weak for me to hold things to be understand, because that time it's a Flutter is on initial stage.
Okay.
So might be not that much articles and stuff for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that time quite bit understand that, and Like for Android people, the list view is so much difficult. That thing so much easy in Flutter. So yeah, that give my interest to Flutter. So yeah, for actually we have to develop one application on iOS. For
Mhm.
us, for iOS, we have to learn whole things for iOS. That's why we move to a Flutter to develop that same replica of Android. So that a great experience for me to develop that application on Flutter. Actually, I am Java-based person, so not that much use after that. But yeah, I fundamental, most of fundamental I know, and yeah, I'm still interested in Flutter. That's why I came over here.
Great to hear this. And what are the challenges apart from understanding stateless and stateful Flutter widget? Is there any other like some of the challenges that you faced during your development time?
Not that much. Like I learned Android. That time, many things I faced that not faced on Flutter because there was so much library there for like REST service facilities and for widgets for designing perspective. There is some default Android material there, so not that much comparatively with Android. And yeah, that is similar like in Java and other programming language, so it's not that much quite difficult for me.
Right. I hope yesterday the another expert Vivek was able to help you with the Dart, and you might have seen that it's almost similar like whatever the language that you have worked on.
Yeah, exactly.
There are just a quite that null safety and everything is there. Otherwise, everything was like quite super uh, similar.
Yeah, we say that it's a combination of Java and JavaScript. So some of
Yeah.
things available in Java that's available in that.
Yeah. So how we define Dart is like it has the robustness of Java and the flexibility of JavaScript.
Yeah, we say that.
Okay. Monali ma'am, are you done or should we proceed or should we wait for another minute?
No, I have done it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Are you able to run it?
Yes.
Awesome. So let's just get started. That what exactly the first application will look like and what are some important folders when you create an application. So when we create the Flutter application, you can see Flutter create this much of files and folder automatically. Are everyone able to see it or should I zoom it? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay. So here we can see there are some ready-made files and folders has been created. Now, whatever the code that we are going to write for the Flutter, that will be in the lib folder. So right now there is only one file called main.dart, which is by default they are creating it. So this is the place where as a Flutter developer, we are going to write the code. Now here we can see we have two separate folder for each platform, Android, iOS. And also as now the web is also supported, so we have the web folder as well. So what these three folders are here doing. So whenever we write any code and if we are building the Android, we are running the app for the Android, it will simply use the Android project itself. If you go inside the Android folder, hello, anyone want to say something? Hello. Okay. Okay. So here we can see we have two different folders, Android and iOS. In Android, if you open this folder, as in the Android Studio, like this folder, it will actually an dedicated Android app folder. So whatever files that required to run one Android app, those files are already been created here. And if we go inside the app source, main, Kotlin, and main activity.kt, or like in Java, generated plugin. So here we can see that they are actually somehow attached the Flutter engine with the app. Right, and that's why like when you run this app, it's actually the Android app is getting created and it call the code that we are writing in the Flutter. And that's why we can say that this is actually building natively. There is no in between any bridge or something. So the Android app directly call the Dart Flutter code, Dart and Flutter code, and then it runs on the Android. The same similar thing will happen for the iOS. In the iOS, the required all files has been created. If you go to runner and app delegate.switch file, we can see here the generated plugin registered, and it actually called the Flutter engine. So that's how these things are being interconnected. And also for the web, even though it's out of scope, but I'll just explain that this is the simple HTML, and here our application, the main.dart.js will run. And then it has some service workers. Those who have worked on web and know PWA and the other stuff, they might aware that what is service worker. So that's how these folders are connected to each other. So Android, iOS, lib, and web is done. The build folder is where whenever we run app and whatever the build file are getting generated, those have been generated in the build folder. So this folder is the one which generated by the system itself that we don't need to do anything. And ideally, when we use the version controlling system like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, anything, we don't push this folder. And the last folder, and this dot folder are again, it's not as a developer for us, this is the system generated. This is for some libraries which we include, and this is some Dart tools which are required to connect with the dependent platform. This folder test is a bit important. So when we work on some high-end projects or like for the client or some enterprise project, we write test. And to write the test, we have the dedicated space called test folder, and inside that we write actually the actual test. And once the test is passed, then only we release the build. So this test folder is for to write the test like unit test for the app. Now this git ignore file is just to a small file where what are the files we want to ignore in the git. Metadata and packages right now it's not concerned. Analysis option are for the lint rules. For example, if I am typing here and I want to specify some rule that whenever I type any variable, it should be with some like I should not type my variable name like this, my variable name, and it should throw an error at the compile time. So this kind of rule I can put inside my analysis.option and will tell that, hey, lint, you need to verify this kind of stuff. Like here you can see ignore for file name lint and everything. Next is Flutter application demo IML file. Again, this is not required IML file. The main another important file is pubspec.yml. This pubspec.yml file is important because it tells everything about your application, like your application name, your application description, where it is been published to. If we are publishing on a pub.dev, if it is a library, we can publish on pub.dev. What is pub.dev? We will discuss in the later sessions. Now, what is the app version? This is the version name. This is the version code. After the plus sign. Yes.
Excuse me, just sorry for interruption. It's just a request. When I'm trying to open this main.dart, I'm getting a kind of dialog box that the git command, git command requires command line developer tools. Would you like to install the tools now? Now I'm not able to cancel it. I have taken a screenshot and uploaded in the chat box over here. So I'm not able to cancel. It makes me compulsory install. But when I try to install, it keeps on installing a lot of other things. Does it happen with Mac OS? It is a MacBook Pro.
Yeah, install it. You will require those stuff.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so once this name and description you are comfortable, like whatever you have decided, then there is a version code. So when you, for example, you have released the first version and you want to upgrade, like you have added some new feature and you want to update your new build, so you can update those version name and version code from here. This environment is the Dart environment. Like, so for example, this Flutter app will run on the Dart, where the Dart version is greater than 2.15.1 and less than 3.0. So this is your Dart SDK version, and this is what been supported by it. Here is the dependency. Like right now, our application have dependency of Flutter, obviously because we are going to develop a Flutter app, and then Cupertino icons. Now Cupertino icons is a one library where it has iOS style icons. If you don't want, we can remove it, simple. And these are some dev dependencies. Now dev dependencies are those dependencies that we required at the time of the development, but not at the time of releasing the app. Okay, just remind me regarding the code generation when we talk about the state management. I will again, connect this dev dependency on the state management with the code generation. And then we have another thing which is called assets. So this following thing, this assets. So whenever we add any assets file or assets folder here, we can simply create here a new folder called assets. And then if we want to put some images, icons over there, we need to tell that Flutter that, hey, I am going to use these images as which are available in my folder, and please allow me to do this. Then only it will allow us. We can also put our own fonts, like we can define that our in application we have some different styling and everything. We can put the fonts and tell that it use this font for the regular and for the italic. We will go through each and every stuff during our session, but this is just pure understanding that this file is kind of the mean and you should not be, mess with this. So that's the thing. Once you add or remove anything over here, and if you press Control Save, it will run one command. That command is a flutter pub get. So if we go here and if we write flutter pub get, what it will do is, if I add any dependency over here, like just by writing this kind of name, and if I run this command flutter pub get, it will actually go and download this all the dependency which are being written here, and it will tell me that, hey, it is executed successfully. When you get, for example, let me just remove this, and if I press command save, and if I go here, I will say flutter pub get. You can see it is actually running and it is done. Now, if I want to add the version name here, and again, if I say it will download version. Now here you can see that even though I do not specify any version, it is still running. If I specify the version, it is still running. And there is a one caret sign. If I remove this caret sign, and if I run the command flutter pub get, it will still run. So what exactly the difference between all these three variation? So if I do not specify any version here while defining my third-party library, it will simply download the latest one or the one which is right now supported by this current configuration of my Flutter app. If I specify particular number, it just download only that version of my of this particular package. And if I add the caret sign, it will download all the versions from 1.0.22 till the latest one. So that's the difference of downloading some packages. So ideally what we do is whenever we download any plugin or anything, we always put the latest version and with the caret sign. So in the future, if there is any update come, it will automatically get downloaded and I will be able to use it. Let me just switch off my Slack. Okay, so that's how this things works. I hope everyone are with me till now, this the folder understanding and everything. So let's just finally start with the app. So what we will do is we will actually delete the whole code of this counter application. And as yesterday we found that in Flutter also we have one method called main, and to run the app we have, why it is not working for me, hold on. Okay, it will work now. There might be some issue with my system. Okay, so now if I go to the run app, as we know, it actually look for here. If I go here, it asks for a widget. Now I want to create my widget. Now if I want to create anything, I can just simply extend it. Here we will call a stateless widget because our app is a very static app. So what I'll do is I'll create one class called my first app. I will extend it with the stateless widget. I'll simply put it. Now it is actually telling me that, hey, there is a one implementation is required, using concrete implementation, because the stateless class, if I click on it, I can see it's an abstract class. And in that abstract class, there is a one method called build, which I need to implement. So for that, I'm going to override this, create one missing override, and it will create a build method. Now, whatever thing that I will write into the build method, it will get displayed on the screen. For example, if I simply return in container, and I will create one object of it, like my first app. My first app is equal to new my first app, and we will pass this my first app here. Okay, and now we will run it. Let's see what happens. So what do you think? What will happen? Will it run or will it not run? And if it will run, what we can see on the screen? Any idea?
Blank canvas sort of thing.
Okay, blank canvas, but in which color?
White color maybe.
Okay, but it is in the black. Okay, now there are some changes here. Let's just make it a color. So in Flutter, yesterday we learned that everything is a widget. Now widget has their own properties and their own parameters. So here, this container widgets, if I want to pass anything, I'll simply go inside it, simply press control space or command space, and then I can see all the properties available which has been supported by this particular widget. Here we can see there is a color, like color, and also in Flutter, color is a widget or a class. So what I can do, I can simply use color class, colors dot. See, I have this different colors, white, black, everything. So what I'll type is here, I'll type as a white. I'll simply press Command S, and we can see the white color on my right hand side. If I want to change it to red, you can see the red. Now just make sure that you can see you are seeing all these colors and on the left hand side on my system. You won't be able to see in your system because I have added some of the extension in my this editor. That's why I have this kind of some stuff configured in my system. But when you type this kind of stuff, it won't show you like this kind of colors, and I don't know whether they have updated or not. So just make sure that don't compare that why it is not coming into your system and why it was there in my system. Okay, so let's just change it to the white. Now this is done. Now what next? So now understand Flutter as a kind of the building blocks, and those building blocks are the widgets, and all widgets are the ready-made kind of the Lego block. So all have their own different functionality and all speciality. So the benefits over here of this Lego boxes are, and the Flutter is, the way we say we want to design our app, we can do it. We just need to identify that how we say it. For example, if I open, let's say Gmail application. Okay, so if I open a Gmail application, so here what we can see, can we see this is kind of our top bar? This is our whole application. This is a bottom bar. This is a kind of the list item, 1, 2, 3. These are the list items. And this is the whole list. And this is the floating action button. Can we say it like this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And if we click on it, it opens something like this. And can we call it as a drawer? Because we know that, we can pull a drawer and we can push the drawer back. Okay. Now, right now, this application looks like kind of the material field. So if we want to create some almost similar kind of application, what we can do is we can again go back to our Flutter application. We will do here, we will remove this. As we want a material app, we will write material app here. Here in material app, it requires one home file because we are creating the whole application as a material app. So as a home, we require some screen as a home. So in home, you can see we request a widget and then there is a question mark. So question mark means it can have the null value. So we can pass null also and we can pass an object also. So here it requires another widget. So we will create our home file, home widget. So what I'll do, I'll create like my home page. So it is actually giving me this suggestion, but we will type by our own, my home page extends, but here we will write stateless widget again. Or rather than doing this, in VS Code there is a shortcut key which is like STL. If you type and when you enter, it will create everything and you just need to write the file name, my home page, and just simply save it. So now what I'll do, I'll simply create an object of my home page. My home page is equal to new my home page, and I'll simply pass this home page here and I'll run this command. Again, it becomes the black. Now, one thing you can notice here, there is a small debug sign on the top. Is everyone can see it? On the right hand side, there is a small debug sign. Now there are some internal things which is given by the material app. When you use the material app, it tells you that whether right now you are in a debug mode or like you are on a release mode. So that's why this debug sign you can see. So that will assure you that right now you are on a debug mode. Now what I want to do is I want to create this page in such a way where I have my top bar, I have button and something in the body. And to get this kind of structure, we have a ready-made widget called scaffold. So what I'll do is I'll simply remove this container and I will use a scaffold widget. Now everything I can use like this, scaffold is equal to new scaffold, and I will use this scaffold here. And now the scaffold has some internal functionality and that's why it is giving me the white background. Now, as you can see, earlier I have written directly the scaffold here like this rather than writing this. The reason is the Dart language itself is so smart that it knows that when to create a new object and when not to create a new object. So if you think that you want to create an object and pass it through it, you don't require the new keyword. And if it is not being used again, you can directly omit this and directly pass this code inside the particular parameter. So we can do the same similar thing over here. I'll simply remove this homepage stuff, put my homepage here, remove this unnecessary code. And also now you can see that my editor is telling me that there are some problem. It says prefer const with the constant constructor. Now, as I'm not changing any value, so it is asking me to write the const keyword here. Also, it is asking me to write const keyword here as well. Also, it is telling me to write const keyword here. So now it won't tell me any error. Now use key in the widget constructor. We will skip this. That I'll explain because this is a bit advanced part. So that we'll cover later on. For now, just ignore this error. Or what we can do is we can here just simply go to my plugin core error lens and we can disable it for now. Because otherwise it will keep throwing such errors. Okay. So now your application will, your editor will look like this. Now what we want to do is we want to put some top bar, floating action button, drawer, body and everything. And this everything is been given by the scaffold. So if you go inside the scaffold and you can see all these parameters available like app bar. Now, as I said, when you write Flutter code, you just need to tell that, hey, you are actually speaking into the English. So we want one application. That application is a material app. In material app, we want as a top app bar. So here we are writing top app bar. In the app bar, we want to give a title. And a title will be a text. Here, a title will be like my first app. What is the problem here? So it's the app bar. Okay, now it is saying that as we have constant here because now it is not a more constant. In app bar we have title. Title we can pass the text and my first app. If I simply, okay, it won't run because I mistakenly reload the ID, so I need to run the app. It was not running. So now it will run and it will tell me in the whole screen, it will show the app bar with the text. Let it run for the first time. Okay. Here, the main thing you might have noticed that we have never given this blue color. But according to material guideline, there is some primary color and the default primary color is blue. So that's why we can see the blue color over here. Now what we want is we want a drawer. So in the scaffold, there is a one parameter called app bar. Once we have added the app bar, we have another parameter called drawer. And there is a ready-made widget called drawer. Simple. If I simply press Control Save, you can see drawer. Sorry. You can see a drawer here, right? As we added nothing to the drawer is empty. Now what we want is we need here a floating action button. Here again a property of the scaffold is floating action button and we have ready-made widget called floating action button. Simple. Here you can see there is an onPress method is given which we have to implement it as a right now we are implement as a blank function or like anonymous function. So we can see here a floating action button and there is and whatever we want to put over inside, there is a body. Now in the body, we want to put text that this is a body. This is a body. You can see this is a body here, but now I want to put it in the center. So what I will do, I'll simply wrap this text widget into the center widget. So I'll simply like write center widget. On the center widget, there is a property called child. And in the child, I'll simply cut this and put it here. Here you can see there is a body on the center. But again, this text is very small. Like it's like hardly like anyone are available to watch it. I just excuse for a while. I'm just getting a call from the hospital. Just a moment. Yeah, hello. Sorry for that. Okay, so we were here. So now I want to update the font size of it. As yesterday we learned that everything in Flutter is a widget. So now what we want to do is we want to change the text style of this particular text. So what I will do first, let me just put the const here. So this line actually giving me some trouble to my eyes. Okay, now we want to change the style. So we will add the style. So this is the text widget. On the text, there is a second parameter. So first parameter is the text. Second parameter is the style. And to give the style, we have the text style widget. Simple. Now what we want to do is in the text style. In the text style, we want to change the font size. And what font size we want to give? For example, 24. So this is 24. If I want to give 40, it will give me 40. If I want 80, simple. If I want to change the color, simply go here, add color, colors dot red, and this is the red. If I want to change the font style, so font style dot italic, and this is italic. If I want to add some weight, that means some boldness, so font weight and font weight dot bold. And here it is italic plus bold. Does it look simple?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, I just have a question. Maybe I have forgotten, but I am able to open this in a browser. Now this one which you have configured a device, this Android emulator. Yesterday you have taught, or either Vivek has taught us. I don't remember, but then I have forgotten it. So would you just have this thing?
So for that, you can open the VS Code. In the bottom, you can see there is a Chrome written in the bottom.
1 minute, hold on.
Like if you go there, here in the bottom, you will see that here you can see the Chrome. So you can just simply click on it and change the device, or what you can do is you can simply press Command Shift P, and here you can go to devices, select device, and you can open the related devices. You might have the Start Flutter emulator here.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Right now, for your fresh installation, it will open in the Chrome.
Yes, it is in Chrome.
Yeah.
I also want to do the fancy way you are doing it.
No, so just go to the view, command palette.
Command palette and then view.
In the view, there is a command palette. Of the VS Code. First you need to select the VS Code.
Yes.
Then go to the view.
Okay.
You can see the command palette option.
Okay. Yes, got it.
And just type device. So you can see this option, Flutter select device.
Command palette and device.
So we have practical session later 2 to 4. So we can cover all these things later.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will suggest you to, first just pay the attention here, and then we'll do all the practical thing over there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Perfect. So we were with the text style. So that's how we can change the text style. Now there is also one thing that we can see here. Our button doesn't look good. So in Flutter, every widget that you use that might have a one property, whether it's a child or a children. If that particular widget can have more than one widget, then it might have a property of children. If a particular widget can have one widget inside it, then it have a property called child. For example, in a center can have one widget, so it has a property called child. There is another widget called row column that we are coming up next. It has the property called children. Now floating action button also have a property called child. And now here, as it is a widget, I can pass anything. Like I can pass the whole this widget, or I can pass my home page here, or I can pass the icon itself. So icon also here is a widget, and I can pass icons dot, for example, add. And if I do and simply press command save, I can see the plus sign over here. I can also change the color of it by just simply passing the color value. See, in the icon we have this color parameter. So what I'll do is simply color and colors dot amber, which is the yellow. So you can see the yellow color inside it. And if I want to change the size of it, this is zoomed, that's why it is so big. Okay, size. And now the size in the double. So I can pass 34. You can see the icon size is updated. If I remove this color, it will get removed. And if I remove the size, it will just simply put the default size. I'll simply put the const here. Now in the drawer, I want to put so many things one by one. But if I go to drawer, I can see there is only value called child. So how I can put the multiple widgets inside it? No problem. We have the widget which can consume a lot of stuff. So we have widget called column, and column have the children. So that's the benefit here. So for example, what is happening here is that a drawer can take only one widget. So we are passing one widget as a column, but column has multiple widgets. So we are wrapping multiple widgets over here into this, and then that becoming as a single widget, we are passing this single widget to the drawer. Now, most of the time we have seen that on the drawer, we have this kind of functionality. Sorry, now it has been updated. There was some kind of header which have, like profile picture and name and everything. So we have the ready-made widget over here, which called drawer header. In the drawer header, again, it has a child. Let's see what are the different properties that drawer header has. It has child, decoration, key, margin, padding, everything. So let's just put a child and simply text as a Drumil Shah. So if I go here, you can see a Drumil Shah here as a drawer header. Let me just give some style here. Okay, we have some style. Do we have? No, we have the decoration. So we'll do decoration. Hold on, I also forgot how to do this. Okay, so this is the way we can do it. Decoration, box decoration. So we are actually decorating this size because this is the header, drawer header, and in the drawer header we have put the text and we have put the color as the blue. Now if I want to add some more parameter like one by one, I will add here. I can put like a Flutter logo. Flutter logo, again, it's one widget. I can simply pass the size as like 40 or like 120 maybe. And also I can add another text, which is like the description. I can add some icons here. Icons dot music maybe. Yes, music note. I can add the size. Size is 120 again. So we have 120. I can change the color of the icon. Colors dot green maybe. So that's how, like, it's so simple to build, like, put the things, everything, and over here. Now, what if I have like this multiple things, like multiple icons, and it is just going overflow. to the screen size. So what will happen here? Let's see. So now if we going overflowing the particular area that we have, it throws error that hey, bottom overflow by 50 pixel. So what's the best way to do it? We can actually wrap it into the scroll view. So what we can do is this column, we can wrap it up in the scroll view. So scroll view is again a widget. So if I go here, I can see a bubble like a bulb sign. I'll click on it. There is some options here like wrap with builder, wrap with center. So here I will put wrap with a widget and I'll write the name of the widget is single child scroll view and I'll simply save it. So here you can see we have scroll view available. So if I add any number of icons, the scroll will be maintained by itself. Right? So simple. Like in how many line of code? Like only 100 line of code we are able to achieve this. Till now, anyone have any doubt on how to write a widget? I mean, whatever the widget that till now we have used. Anyone?
No, sir.
I hope it is pretty simple, right? Okay. So let's do another thing. Let me just create a folder here. Here I will write as a home like demo app, demo folder. In the demo, I will add this file which is called my homepage. So I'll create a new file called homepage.dart and I will copy this whole code and put it here. It will ask me to import some of the thing which is like the material because right now we are fetching everything from the material. Now my homepage is here and it is been imported from this file. So now this code looks much better because now we have homepage and we have homepage here. What we'll do is we will now create a WhatsApp kind of clone. Let me just get my real device for you so that we have idea. Now I will do a quick fast. And when you think there is any doubt or question, feel free to ask me in between, like stop me in between and ask me. Okay, I just request please don't read my personal messages. I'm just sharing my device screen. So for that, we are closing this simulator and now we will use the iOS emulator to run our app. So this is my real device. This is my real device. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create almost similar kind of UI where we have this kind of app bar with these two actions. Then we won't have this tab. We will just simply have the chats and this chat list. OK, and then one button. Are we guys ready to build this with me? Yeah.
Not so quickly. We have just understood the flow and everything, but once we have to practice all this.
Yes. So I will help you to create one. So let me do one thing. I'm creating it. WhatsApp UI. WhatsApp.dart. And here I'll create stateless widget. WhatsApp. And I'll simply import it. Now, as you know some of the basics, so I want you to like guide me. First, let me just run this app. I will replace this homepage with WhatsApp. So now we will be having a WhatsApp UI. Let's first run this as the blank canvas. Hold on, it will run on my device. I'll need to select the iOS simulator. So now my iPhone 13 is here. Okay.
Dharmil sir,
Yes.
in case of Android, we have to kind of enable developer options and all. What happens in case of iOS and iPhone?
Nothing. Just attach your iPhone and you are good to go.
Okay, thank you, sir.
But for that you require the Apple system.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So as we know that if we don't add the scaffold, it will just simply show the black screen. So here we have the black screen. Now we will add the scaffold widget. So now we have white screen. Now what we want to do here. So this. Okay, let me just, shrink it down a bit. फोन को थोड़ा छोटा कर देते हैं. So because we just need some visible part. Okay, so we are actually replicating this thing to here. So now we have the scaffold. Now what we need app bar. In app bar we have ready-made widget called app bar. What happened? Why it is not throwing? It's throwing an error. Okay, this is app bar, scaffold, app bar. Okay, app bar. So we got this app bar. In app bar we need a title. Title we need WhatsApp. Okay, so we got this WhatsApp. Now you might have seen that when we were running on Android, this particular title was on the left side. But we are running this on iOS. It's coming on the center. Right, earlier in this our first demo, when we give the name my first step, it was coming on the left side. The reason is by default Apple guideline is like this: if there is any title, it should be on a center. So Flutter itself manages that. So you don't need to worry about that if my app is running on iOS, if it is not following the iOS guidelines or not. It will be automatically been done by the Flutter team or the Flutter SDK. But still we can change it because now we want exactly this kind of UI. So I can tell app bar, hey, the center title should be false. Now you might be wondering that, hey, sir, you know each and everything, how we can go and know which kind of parameters are available and how we can actually go, because you have a lot of practice. So you know everything that, we can do it by like center title. There is a one parameter. How we know? Simple. Just click on command and click on this thing. Its documentation is so rich and so detailed. You can see what exactly the code is written. So for example, let me just zoom in for you. So I want to know that how many parameters are supported by this app bar. I'll simply put command plus click, and I can see here like there are this much of parameter has been supported, like key, leading, title, actions, flexible space, bottom, elevation, shadow color, shape, background color, foreground color, everything. Right? So now we know that we have something called actions, and we have actions here as well, like these two actions. So now we can use the actions. Now, what kind of these actions are? So, I mean, what kind of parameter that, it is taking as in the action. So we can go up simply. Here actions, it is written that if the app bar's actions contains text button, they will not be visible if their foreground color is the same as the app bar's background color. Hold on, this is something that we came very bottom. There must be something called actions here on the top, or like what we can do is we can simply search for the actions. So here actions are most of the icons button, which is used with the action to show buttons on the app bar. So it is the buttons, and these actions are the array. It's a list of widgets and it's of actions. So what we have to do here is, if we go here and if we type actions, just because. Okay, now you will be able to see it. Actions. You can see here an array. Array, like I can pass like multiple value here. So now we have multiple icon buttons. I can add icon button. Earlier we have icon and now we have icon button. So button has on press parameter, which is coming automatically, and icon. Now as we know how to use an icon, I'll simply create icon widget, and inside it I can add one button. So here we can see we got this search button here. Now I want to add another icon. So how I can do, I'll simply copy, simply paste, and here I will do vertical. I guess it's a vertical only, vertical menu, no, vertical, okay, I don't have something called vert, maybe vert something, no, yes, more vertical, yes, so it's a more vert outline. So we can see here we got these two icons, same as the WhatsApp. On the right hand side, let me just zoom in for everyone. So as we can see, we got this. I'll just reduce the size of this because this is like this, everyone has this. Now what we want is we want something called kind of this list item, but before that we will go with the floating action button. So we have done with the app bar. I'll simply do the shrink. I'll add the floating action button. In the floating action button, we have on press method, which I will pass as a blank. And here on the child, again, we have icon, icons.message, and we got the message icon as well. Now almost everything is done. Now we just want this kind of list view and with this kind of items, list item. So for that, we will go to the body. And here we'll simply pass a one container. So now we got the body as well. This whole part is the body. And now here we want a list view. Now this is the one of my favorite widget, list view. So list view has multiple constructor, list view dot builder, custom and separated. So builder method will actually give me a one parameter called item builder. In the item builder, it will give me this two parameter, context and index. And here I can simply return a text with row number, and here I will type index. Now in Dart, yesterday you might have learned that the string manipulation, where if you want to access a value of any variable, you just need to simply prefix with the dollar. Like in C, we do %d and the stuff. Here we have the $sign. And if I simply run it, we got a list view, an infinite list view, because this list view, we haven't passed the length. So it will simply create a list view till the number which I want. If you want to control it in the item builder, we have in the list view builder, we have item count. For example, I need only 100 count. So now you can see there is a 100 stuff, only 100 item here. Now what we want to do is we want to actually change our item, which will like this. So here we have ready-made widget as well. Rather than the text, we have ready-made widget called list tile. Return, and we'll simply comment this. So now we got list tile. Now the benefit of using list tile is list tile has property called title. So title has a text. We can put text here, or we can put anything because it accepts the widget. See, if we go here, you can see a title actually accepting a widget. So we can put anything, but here we want a text. So we are using text. This is a title of $index. So you can see we got the title. And now we want a description, or how we'll do this. Do we have description or subtitle? Oh yeah, we have subtitle, sorry. We have subtitle, and here we have text subtitle. Right, almost we got a similar look. Now we want something over here which is actually leading to this. So it has the leading parameter as well. So leading, and we can again add the text, and here we add kind of just a index. So now we got this, but we want this into the circle, because in the WhatsApp we have circle. So here we have called circle avatar widget. Again, it has the child, and in the child we can add text, and text we can add index. Sorry, now it will be visible to you. Like, so what we have done to create this kind of UI, we have a list style. List style have some parameter called title, subtitle, leading. In the leading, we came to know about new widget, which is called circle avatar. Now circle avatar has again a child, which I can pass anything. So here I have text, and again I have passed this thing. Now this is done. Now what I want is I want something in the back. So this list style has again another parameter called trailing. Simple. And here again we will add text, and we'll add time. So time here I'm just typing 11:15 a.m. So we got 11:15 a.m. But what I want to do is I want to actually add this unread count as well here. So now trailing has only one widget. If I want to club more than one widget inside of one, I have another widget called column that we used earlier, as we want to place a widget like line by line in a vertical manner. So I will simply wrap this text, this trailing text with the wrap with column. So, and here I will add another text called not text, but here I will again add the circle avatar. In circle avatar I will add child, text, and here I will write 2 static number. But now it is overflowing because the size is big. So we can reduce the size by so the circle avatar has the radius. I have changed the size to 10 or like 8. Like 10 looks good, but the text is a bit bigger. So I can go inside this. I will add style, text style, font size, and 10 looks good. But now I want some space in between because this is like very clumsy. So hold on, this is actually creating some problem. Okay, const. Now what I want to do is this circle avatar and this text, I want to put some spacing over here. So we have another widget called size box, and size box we can give height, and this is the 10. So I'm adding the 10 pixel of height, and this is done. Does it look simple? Everyone? Like we are able to code the WhatsApp UI clone like within 17 minutes. And the line is only 50 line of code. Not, yeah, just a 50 line of code. As simple as that. Also, but still it doesn't look like a WhatsApp. The reason is it's a blue color, and now I want to change this all blue color to green. Now, as you can see, this all blue color are coming from a particular, one place because we haven't defined it anywhere. And I mentioned earlier that this is the kind of some default property of a material app. So we will go to material app here. And here material app has the parameter called theme. So if you go to the theme, and there is a one widget called theme data. So theme data, hold on. I'll simply change the primary color to green and I'll simply run it. Hold on, I guess I'm missing something. Yeah, we are not going to change the whole thing. What we need is we want to change just the primary color. So there is a property called primary swatch, and here we can change the color to green. If I change this color to green, I'll run this. Why this is throwing an error? Hold on. Primary. Okay, theme data, and in the theme data we have primary swatch, and here I'll add colors dot green. Yes. Okay, and I need to remove this const because, and now my app looks like look like a kind of WhatsApp. We have different theme shades as well, which will look like maybe green 900. So I'll use green 900. Why it is not coming? So green dot shade 900. Okay, green dot shade 900. Still it's not coming. What's the error he's telling me? The argument type color can't be assigned to the parameter material color. Okay, so I need to change it. That also I need to check how we can do it. But this is how you can change the whole theme of the color. So this is a simple example how we can do it. So do we have any question, doubts, arguments, anything which you want me to like cover right now? I guess we are done for the session, for the day one first session. So here what we learn is we explore some different widgets in the Flutter, and also we learn how to use any widget inside any widget, and how we can actually explore the different property of the widgets. So can everyone just type what all different widgets we discovered today? Text scaffold. Okay. Next, anyone? I want everyone to answer at least. Drawer, center, column. Okay. Single child scroll views. It's not a space box, it's a size box. App bar, drawer, text, column, icon, floating action button. Yes. Font. Font wasn't the, no, we didn't use the font. Circle avatar. Okay. Box decoration. Correct. Textile. App bar. The one main thing you guys are missing. Material app. Scaffold. Correct. Material app. Circle avatar. Okay, is there anyone is still missing? One widget is still missing. Center. already came. Icon already, someone answered. Drawer already answered. Font style, okay. Icon already came. Actually, I guess there are two widgets that we are missing here. Color is not a widget, it was actually a class. Widget is the one that we are using with the brackets, with the small brackets. So list style is missed. List view, list style. Flutter logo. Not action. Action is just a parameter. The widgets are the icon button. Yeah, application itself is a widget. That's the true. The whole application is just a widget. So some of the missed widgets are no stateless widget, and stateful is kind of the abstract class. We are discussing here the concrete widget that we have implemented today. Drawer header, yes, drawer header. One more that we have used inside the drawer header. Title, yes. List decoration, okay. The single child scroll view that we use into the drawer to wrap everything to make it scrollable. The Flutter logo is again a widget that we used in our earlier example. So I guess now everyone are aware that what are the widgets that we used and how we can do it. So in the next session, Vivek will help you to understand some layout widgets, specifically row, column, stack, wrap. Those are the widgets, which how you exactly you can utilize those widgets, and how can you make your app more beautiful and more elegant in terms of the placing a particular widget at a particular place. Okay. If anyone want to ask anything, feel free to. We are done for the first session. If you have any doubt, feel free to ask. Sir, you can allow everyone to unmute themselves.
Yes, sir. Mic is already enabled. I don't think the participants may have
suggest
doubt.
that rather than following any third-party article, try to follow flutter.dev because that is the official documentation site. Even though the description looks good for Geeks for Geeks, but still I will suggest you to go and learn or read anything you want to learn about the Flutter. Go to the flutter.dev. Because in the any third-party blog you will go, it's not that much streamlined and the step by step, and you might encounter some confusion, which is unnecessarily. And so better to just follow the standard practice. Once you are completing this workshop, then definitely go and check out the third party this documentations, third party blogs. Because at that time you have that kind of understanding that what exactly the author want to say. Right now everyone are like very fresh and new with the Flutter, so do not get distracted with this third party stuff. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Madhav sir, for sharing the official doc link. So the first link that Madhav sir shared is the kind of the widget catalog, like how many kind of the widgets are there. You can open that link, which is like doc.flutter.dev/development UI widgets, and you can go to the layout. So most of this kind of widgets will be been explained by the next expert. And not all the widgets are being useful like on a day-to-day basis. So he might cover some of the more common widgets. And looks like this particular link has a lot of widgets, and which is not, I guess, the required. So he might cover the multi-child layout widgets specifically. Sliver widget, it's kind of a bit advanced, so this will be get skipped for now. And the top portion, which is like single child layout widget. From the single child layout widget, we have already covered the center widget, container somehow, but not that way. We have used the size boxed, but yeah, there are many over there. So here the question is from Himali ma'am is, each time we have to write const before any widget? Not each time. When you are not passing any static data, when you are passing any static data, at that time you need to pass the const keyword. Okay, so before I answer it properly, I want a basic understanding from everyone that the const keyword is also used to make a particular variable or something constant, and also final keyword is also used to do the same. So why there are two different like keywords? Is there any difference, or like both are similar? Anyone want to answer this? Because this understanding will require to answer the Himali ma'am's question.
Sir, whenever we don't want to make any changes in the subsequent child or children or sort of that thing, at that time we may put a constant immediate child, I would say. But if we want to manipulate or change content later on, size or text or something, at that time we should not put const.
No. My question is, there is a two keyword called const and final, and both are used to make a particular widget as a non-mutable. Right. I mean, you can't change the value of the final variable, and also you can't change the value of the const variable. Right, when you define it with the const keyword or when you define with the final keyword. So why there are two different keywords, and what do we have any difference between them? If yes, then what is the difference?
Final is also applicable to methods and class also. So if it's with class, it's non-inheritable. If it's with method, it's non-overridable. And with constant, it is unchangeable. Where const can only be applied to variable, in my opinion.
Okay. 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 So let me just reframe the question again. Whatever the answer that been given by you, it's correct. But I want to understand this thing specifically for the variable. If I'm using a variable and if I'm like declaring the variable with the final keyword and declaring with the const keyword, does it has any difference? If yes, then what is the difference? If it doesn't have any difference, then why we have two different keywords?
Yeah, with a constant, we specify the value for that variable, but for final, that the declaration type, there is no need of value definition. After once it will be a set that we can't change.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Anyone want to rephrase the whole sentence with some more technical terms? Because the answer is 100% correct. So here the main basic difference is when you assign any variable with the const keyword or like declare with the const keyword, the particular memory has been allocated at the compile time. But when you declare a variable with the final keyword, the memory will be allocated only when the value has been assigned to that variable at the runtime. So most of the time what happens, as we know that we are already passing this value while writing the code, and this is not going to get changed. So that's why we are passing the const keyword against it. So as we have created one object of a particular widget for text, and on the text, we are passing a text as the my name is Dhrumal. So we will do it const text my name is Dhrumal. But if I assign a variable like text, then dollar my name, and my name is a variable, then I do not require to put const keyword against a widget, because the value of a variable my name is been allocated at the runtime, and that's why const keyword is not required before that particular widget. So I hope now I'm able to answer. I have answered properly that what widget required the const keyword before it, and which widget doesn't require the const keyword before that. Yes, Madhav sir answer is correctly. Compile time and never changes. And for the final, it initialize once and then it won't be get changed. Perfect. So do we have any other question, or like we want, or like we can conclude the session?
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for such a wonderful and interactive session. I think we should conclude the session. Okay, thank you very much, sir, once again. And dear participants, we will begin our second session of the day, sharp at 12:30 p.m. So be on time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, everyone.